You're listening to the Blood, Sweat, and Business podcast, featuring real business owners telling real stories about their real business experiences. Here are your hosts, John Chiappetta and Eric Jorn.
All right, we are live with Blood, Sweat, and Business. Today we have Ron Saharyan from Profit First Professionals. Welcome, Ron.
Welcome. Thank you, guys. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're super pumped to have you on here. We got into the Profit First world pretty much last year. We started getting in there. We've implemented it in a few different clients and actually into our own firm. Great methodology. It's helping us get more profit every day. We're seeing the same thing happening with our clients.
You know, why don't we step back just a second here, Ron? If you would just take a moment and kind of tell our listeners what is profit first? I mean, a lot of people are like, well, yeah, we want profit, but why is it profit first?
Right. First and foremost, thank you for having me on to share. I'm Ron Saharyan, co-founder of Profit First Professionals. Profit First Professionals is the organization that supports the teaching in a book called Profit First. Profit First is a book and a methodology. It's a cash flow methodology that works with human behaviors. It's a pay yourself first methodology, one that ensures the business owner is going to be paying themselves first, if not more. It's a methodology that ensures that the company is going to reserve a war chest of cash for Uncle Sam, regardless of what their liabilities are. 3, we're going to have a focus on profit. You need to have profit. Even if that profit is 3.5%, that business can pay down debt if they have it. They can celebrate the health of the company, or they can hire. So what Profit First is a cash flow system that resides between financials, which are historical documents, and forecasting, which are hopes and dreams. So it is a system.
I love how you call it a cash flow system, because every accountant I've ever talked to says, oh, Profit First is the stupidest accounting system. And I'm like, it's not an accounting system. It is a cash flow management system. Get that through your head.
Yeah, it's a system. So all business owners realize the need for systems, hiring systems, delivery systems, fulfillment systems, HR systems, but no one has a cash flow system. Okay. Yeah. Right. And so you talk to those other accountants that say Profit First accounting is not good. Okay. Well, what is the system that you implement in your own business? What is the system that you implement in your customers' businesses? Right. And when they look at you and they say, well, we basically just have them sell, manage their expenses, and whatever they have left over is their profit, and they pay themselves. That's not a system.
Right.
That is what's wrong. That formula is wrong. Sell, manage your expenses, and then whatever is left over, the crumbs.
Right. Well, I wish I would have thought of that or had the system available to me when I first started out, because there was many a day where I didn't pay myself. And all that hard work, and it's defeating when you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to start out to not put something in your pocket.
Absolutely. And who's the number one employee in the business? The owner. You sacrifice your own income. You sacrifice your family time. You take chances. You get people to buy things. You're selling things. You're marketing. You're hiring. But why do businesses fail at such an alarming rate? I'll tell you why. Because of that system. It's flawed. It's so the right system, guys, listening. So take sales minus expenses equal profit. Cross that out. Throw it away. That's the world is flat. And I want you to bend your mind a little bit and realize this new formula: sales minus profit equal expenses. Sell, take your profit, manage your expenses, your business on the expenses left over. But let me clarify, because I'm sure we have some listeners that say, ooh, profit. No, what that capital P in that formula is representative of is the business owner paying themselves, having money for Uncle Sam versus reaching into your savings or taking a loan to get it. Profit, of course, but how about security? 3 to 6 months of core capital in home and in the house. I don't know, in case the pandemic happens. But what about purpose, mission? So you sell, take a little for your purpose, take a little for your profit, take a little bit for Uncle Sam, take a little bit to pay yourself, and security. Then you run the business on everything else left over.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about profit, because profit oftentimes is looked at, maybe not, the owner doesn't look at it as a dirty word, but a lot of other people look at it as a dirty word. And I like to try to explain that profit is a good thing for everyone. When a business is profitable, everybody wins.
Yeah, absolutely. We had custom sneakers made that are branded in Profit First colors. We decided to do that as a unique gift for our staff. Did you know that we are not allowed to have the word profit on any Nike gear?
Wow.
Talk about ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a company that is profiting from slave labor, but won't allow us to have the word profit. Well, let me tell you something. If you want to be charitable, you need profit.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to support the local, I don't know, baseball, hockey team, lacrosse team, you need profit. If you want to hire, you need profit. If you want to reinvest in your business, you need profit. Profit makes the world go round. It's not profit that is bad. It's the dirt bags that have a lot of money that are bad.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you need profit to grow, and grow doesn't just mean grow the top line or grow the bottom line of your business. Sometimes it's growing your people. And, if you're not a profitable business, what happens, right? You're chasing the next dollar because you need to pay the bills. You need to get by. And guess what everybody's doing? They're expanding all of their energy doing this work that's not profitable. They never have time to grow as individuals, as performers, whatever profession they have. And it's such a key thing. If you're not growing, you're not progressing. If you're not progressing, you're dying a little bit every day as a business.
Yeah. And the problem is the mechanic who's trying to work on the engine as well as take the sales orders, do the marketing and the hiring and the delivery. Right. And so, the profit can be used in so many excellent ways that it's a shame that, people are looking at it that way, because it's not about that. And think about this, the Great Resignation. We're talking about culture. Mm-hmm. What is the culture in your business? With profit, I guarantee you can enhance the culture. You can do active quarterly events with profit. You can do retreats. You can give profit distributions to your employees. We've been giving profit distributions since 2014, all through the pandemic, because we're a highly profitable firm. But you can also do fun things. You can set up a wellness program. You can buy your staff's kids school supplies and have them expense it.
Yeah.
So there's so much more to creating a culture, right, that people enjoy going to and working, infuse the work-life balance. But if you don't have the profit to build that culture, to build the relationships and the time it takes, even going out to lunch and having dinners, so look at it as the need for profit will help you enhance the culture within your own business. It's fun to give profit distributions.
Not only when we were talking about profit, I actually like the way you re-look at how your expenses and realize how little you actually need to get by to what you need to get done. I think of the example when he's talking about, when you get to the end of the toothpaste and you don't have any extra sitting in the closet, how far that little bit you can actually start squeezing it and you get that little extra out. And it lasts you another week or something like that. I find that to be an extremely interesting topic within the book in itself, just because I think we're so eager just to throw stuff out these days or get rid of something, even if we haven't used it to its total value.
Yeah. No, the way the business is not the business, the methodology is structured is to leverage those human behaviors. Right. So what we're talking about is Parkinson's theory, that we're going to exhaust all available resources at any given time. Stephen Hawking also said the same thing about humanity and planet Earth. right? That's why we're trying to get to Mars, because we're going to exhaust all our resources on the planet Earth sooner or later, right? That's why when you get a full tube of toothpaste, you squeeze some out, you lay a lot on there and it falls off, no big deal. You put another one on there. But the flip side, because we're going to abuse resources when they're plentiful. Okay. Now, but what we were talking about was being creative, being innovative, getting more out of less. You're squeezing that toothpaste. You're trying to get it. You're putting it over the corner. You're doing this. So I cut it. I cut my toothpaste. I can get an extra couple of days out of that. Right. And so when resources are constricted, okay, the human part of us starts to become more inventive, more creative. We start to do more with less. We start to, really innovate. And so that's what happened in the beginning of COVID. Look at all the innovation. Look at all the pivoting. Look at all the stuff that entrepreneurs were doing. It was exciting, scary. And then when all that money came, right? All that money was infused into everybody. Everybody took a collective sigh of relief and continued to do the same things and wasting their money the way they have.
And I'll tell you what, the business owners that were profitable going into the pandemic were able to be flexible and adapt and be creative. But the business owners that were not profitable, those are the ones who probably closed their doors.
Yeah. I see it all the time. I mean, we get letters throughout the pandemic saying, thank God I implemented profit first, because what we're doing is, in essence, swirling away money in various different bank accounts for various different purposes. And so when the world was coming to an end, all those businesses that had multiple accounts for multiple different reasons were flush with money. They could draw on that money because they didn't need that initiative for marketing. They didn't need this for that. And so they didn't have payroll necessarily. They get in double payroll. So maybe they had a payroll account and the government gave them a payroll account. So those businesses that were well run and profitable had a much greater survivability than those that were struggling.
Absolutely. You talked about culture earlier and how, as a reward of profit, you can improve your culture by doing things like quarterly profit distributions, retreats, events, dinners, gifts, whatever it may be. How do you get the process of the culture to make something like profit first work in your business? How do you get your employees to buy into that concept if you haven't yet gotten to the profitable part?
It all starts at the top. It starts with the owners of the business, realizing that change needs to be made. Then it's not, it's rallying the team. I'm a big sports guy, right? And so, we need to do this. How can we get buy-in from the team? Let's do this. Would you guys be interested in profit distributions? Heck yeah. Well, let's talk about some KPIs that'll hold us accountable to ensure, whether or not we are doing this. And so, one of the things is profit first has a built-in profit component that the business owner is always going to be rewarded for running a healthy business, even though they may take a dip in revenue. It's the beauty of the program, right? We haven't grown every quarter. We've taken some dips here and there, but we've still had that profit account where we were able to draw and give profit distributions. People really look forward to it. And so it compounds it as compounding the profit. It's almost like compounding interest the way it works. But the staff, how we do profit distributions at Profit First Professionals is we have a profit account. We allocate money in there on a monthly basis. At the end of every quarter, we take 50% of that money out. Okay, we leave 50% of it in. Then what we do is, out of that 50%, 20% of that the staff gets. 30% of that Mike and I split. Okay, so we have our 30%, him and I are splitting it. The staff gets 20%. Divided by how many members there are on the team that have been there over a year. Every quarter, they get a profit distribution. They look forward to it. So some of the KPIs for us are new members retention. Right? Are you hitting your KPIs? Are you hitting this? You're hitting that. Sometimes we're not hitting them, but we still are doing better. And we still had that 50% that was left over from the other time. So everybody's still getting a little bit and everybody looks more forward to it.
Wow. That sounds like a way to get everybody on board and growing in the same direction.
For sure. I think if you're going to dangle some money out there, but you're going to say, hey, we got to meet some expectations. I think that's a great way to get everybody involved. Right.
Well, yeah. And
patience is key, right?
Yeah. And it's also not about money. One of the things is it's, the freedom and flexibility and autonomy in decision-making process. Right. And there's a lot of little things. We have what's called a family account set up. And so the family account is something that we draw on to support our members and also our internal families in needs. So an example that we did was when COVID first hit. Erin, her husband, is a ER nurse. Well, guess what? He was pretty busy. She's got 3 kids, little kids. Wow. Who's going to take care of their yard?
Yeah.
We will. We'll pay a landscaping company to take care of it for you.
That's awesome.
Another somebody wanted to adopt. They live in an older home. Northeast, we have those radiators with the steam and they make all these noises. They're dangerous. Well, you can't adopt if you have them. So what we did is we invested in a contractor to box them out. But also, one our bookkeeper's kid fell and broke his arm, little kid. We sent him a bunch of games. All this stuff, and we allow our members to do that, our staff to do this. You want to give $100 flower gift to somebody, go ahead. They're managing this stuff, right? And so we also, have morning meetings, we have huddles, we have accountability, but we're all in this together. Right? We're literally in this together. And so our systems are developed. So there's always a backup. So if I'm out, somebody can handle this. If this person's out, somebody can handle it. Clockwork, right? We clockworked our business. I'm sure Mike would like that plug. Clockwork. New and revised. Yeah, new and revised. It's actually great. It really is great. And what the premise is that is designing your business so that you can take a 4-week total digital disconnect vacation. We're at the point where we've clocked work where our staff is starting to take it now.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And what it sounds like, that's just such a human, what you talked about was just such a human way to handle profit. You just don't see that.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting as we were talking here. One of the things I think I found a little bit was just trying to get somebody to take on the system in itself. Hey, why don't you try to, I don't want to have multiple accounts. It sounds like a lot of work. I don't want to have all that going on. That's just more for me to handle. Trying to get them over that hump. Or I even got this one. I think my company's too big. How about that one? It's too big. I got too many departments. Could you see a public company utilizing something like Profit First?
They do. No doubt about it. I can't share the public companies because,
right.
But in the book, there is a mention of a public company that uses it. There's also sports franchise that uses it. $107 million construction company, $50 million law firm, everything under the sun. And so the issue is that people were put to death for believing that the world was flat.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have lots of people still believe sales minus expenses equal profit. You still have a lot of business owners that believe that, that it won't work. They can't bend their mind. They can't bend their mind to something new. And so profit first, right? It doesn't matter where you are. You can get started. And I would never tell somebody to start with the percentages in the book. You have to start small. That's why you need to work with a certified profit first firm. You don't want some accountants screw this thing up so much because they don't know what they're doing, right? And it's conceptually simple, but they don't get it. And then it doesn't work and they blame the system. So, work with a certified profit first professional firm, right? It starts small, lower the bar. Maybe you just want to open up one account in 1%. Build that profit first muscle memory, start then working the system, adding more percentages. And what we're trying to do on the high level, okay, if you have, say, 70% of your revenue is going out the door in expenses, that means you're receiving 30%. That's bad. So profit first looks to change those percentages over time. right? And so it's not, you can't just flip a company from 70% expenses to now 70% owners pay, profit, and tax. You can't do that, right? This is not an overnight fix. That guy had this business for how long?
Mm-hmm.
And to take us time to fix it. And I use the gym analogy. We're not going to go to the gym and put on 300 pounds and try to bench press it the first time we go there. We'll get crushed.
Yep.
You can't take 20% out of anybody's OpEx and expect the company not to fall down.
Yeah, you do what you can. Add 5 pounds every session, or maybe even a little less. It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as you continually improve.
Exactly. It's okay. Great. Now I've got 3% going to profit. How do I get to 4? Yeah. I've got 4% going to owner's pay. How do I get to 5? My OpEx is at 73. How do I get to 72? Right? These small incremental changes to swing those percentages. So, you're running a 60-40. That's a sweet business for the business owner.
It's huge. And not just the business owner, though.
Staff.
For the staff, for their customers, for the community. It's important for everyone.
Well, here's another thing why it's important to be profitable and have good systems. If you think I want to work with an accounting firm that's beating their chest, oh, we've been working 80 hours each week during tax season. Oh, I can't talk to you. Oh, I got to package my food for 6 months because I'm not going to see my family.
Mm-hmm.
You think I want to work with that firm?
No,
you're going to make mistakes. You think I want my surgeon? I had rotator cuff surgeon. You think if he comes in, oh man, Ron, I was up all last night, on this appendix, man.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Or a lawyer, but that's what you're portraying to the outside world when you're doing that. I love my accountant that's working 40 hours a week and his staff is getting to bed at a decent time. Means he's running a good business. We need him to be profitable.
Well, and how can they be a good advisor if they're not running a good business, right?
Don't get me going. I work with a lot of accounting firms. They're the cobblers' kids have bad shoes. Accountants, they're great at sharing advice, but this is a way for them to really wrap their arms back around their company, get clarity in exactly what they're doing. Right. And then to translate that clarity into helping somebody else. That's what we're doing here at First Professionals.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why we only work with businesses, or we only want to work with businesses on a monthly basis, right? We're doing the financial statements every month, or maybe they can generate their own financial statements. But we want to look at it because I don't want it to be 6 months later and we're then planning, hey, you had this transaction, we're figuring it out now, or we're waiting till tax season to do it and cramming a year's worth of activity into tax season. And that's why accountants are working 80 hours a week, is because they're untangling the mess all throughout tax season. And we say, let's do it year round. Let's be proactive instead of reactive. And even better, if they're implementing profit first, they got the money already set aside for taxes. I mean, every tax accountant should love this program for that reason alone.
It's so funny that you say that, and because I'll talk to a CPA firm and they'll be like, that's ridiculous. Why do you need all those accounts, right? That's what they say. And I say, okay, let me ask you something. Oh, it's going to take me so much time to reconcile, blah, 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 blah. First off, these are just holding accounts. So I say to them, well, would you advise your customer to set up a sales tax account if they collect sales tax? Yes. Well, tell me how you would encourage them to operate that. Well, whenever they collect the sales tax, they take that money and they put it into a sales tax account because that money isn't theirs. That's the government money.
Mm-hmm.
So you agree with that? Yes. Okay. Well, what about a tax account? Just a regular tax account? Yeah, I wish they would set up a tax account. Okay. So you just told me that you wish your customer set up 2 accounts for specific purposes. I'm saying
your purpose, though.
Yeah, that serves your purpose, right? That serves your purpose.
Yeah.
How about we help serve their purpose and apply the same freaking methodology to making sure this dude's paying themselves, making sure that they're profitable so they can pay down their debt, making sure that they have money for Uncle Sam when they need that money to pay to Uncle Sam.
Yeah. And it's not a new concept in a way. I mean, law firms and insurance agents have to have trust fund accounts for expenses, money they take in, but that's not revenue. It's, pass through money. Same thing with sales tax. I mean, in reality, it's the same thing with income tax, right? If you know what your profit's going to be, you're taking a portion of that money in and you're setting it aside later because it's not really yours at the end of the day. It's not a new concept.
It's not. It's grandmother's envelope budgeting methodology for businesses brought into the 21st century. If we want to get that simple about it, that's what it is. And why did that work? Because it was a behavioral system, right? So, my grandma had a couple of envelopes. She put a quarter in each one of them. And when she went to the food store, she brought the food envelope. Yeah. Why? Because it's a half tube full of toothpaste. She's going to make that quarter go further. If she were to bring all of the money, it's a full tube of toothpaste.
Absolutely.
Well, how about this one? I'm already profitable. Why do I need profit first?
Great. So let me ask you a couple of personal questions then. You're profitable and that's awesome. But I want to ask you these questions to make sure you're utilizing that profit for tomorrow. Do you have a 401k set up in your business? Are you maxing out your 401k? Are you doing Safe Harbor, a pension plan for that? Do you have 3 to 6 months of core capital in your home savings? Do you have children? Do they have a 529? What does your stocks, bonds, and mutual funds look like outside of a 401k? What does your insurance look like? Are you and your family and your business properly insured? What about being your own banker? Right? What about leveraging various different protocols and systems and leverage annuities and all sorts of things out there that people are profitable? Are you doing all that? No.
That's a great question, right?
Right.
No.
Right. So
they're buying a big truck and a big boat and big house.
Yeah. Right. Which is fun, which is great. And if they're taking care of everything else, I'm cool with that. Right. And so we put it's the same thing. Take care of what's important first, right? Your family's first, your kids, the roof over your head, your health, your insurance, right? Your retirement. Make sure that is all fully funded. Then go buy the 911 with whatever you have left over if you can do that. But they're not, they're seeing the money here. There's also the problem where people are making a lot of money and they're afraid to spend it and afraid to use it. And the same questions apply. Listen, you have it now. It may not happen forever. Make sure you're looking down the field. Look further down the field than you ever have before. And let's make sure that money works, because the rule of 72 and compounding interest over the long haul is a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. That is the easiest way to get somebody into investing, right? Just show them, right? You put X amount of dollars in at X amount of cadence with X amount of return. And, all you got to do is tell them you'll be a millionaire if you put X, whatever the dollar is in there. And if one of their goals is to be a millionaire, you just, they'll find a way to make it work.
Right. Exactly. And that's the thing. Well, what do you want for your kids? Do you want to send them to private school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about if you have a special needs child, right? You're going to need profit for that.
Yeah.
Okay. What about elderly care? You know how expensive elderly care is, and then insurance after that? So, okay, Mr. Smarty Pants that is already profitable. You might be profitable, but are you taken care of?
Yeah.
There's a lot of well-dressed poverty out there, and that's the problem.
I like that.
I like that well-dressed poverty. I'm going to steal that from you.
No problem.
So,
it's true.
You said health, and it's always weird to think, we're accountants talking about business, and the concept of wealth or health is not something that we all think about. But how can you run a business or even a profitable business without your health? You can't.
No, and offering discounts is like eating donuts every day. You're cheapening the health of the business, and the profession isn't making up those discounts. So the next minute, you're scrambling to do whatever you want. So, I need to be healthier again. No doubt about it. I'm not pregnant, right? I put on a couple extra pounds because I had surgery. Okay. Yeah. But I know that if I'm not going to get back in shape and healthier, I'm cheapening what I'm doing for my family. And, you know, I don't want to do this forever. Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want Profit First to be around forever. I want the annuity to be around forever, but I want to be able to spend more time. And I spend a lot of time with my family, but I want to be able to spend real time with them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it just is, you know, I'll tell you, this past tax season, it was a tough one for, I think, accounting firms. No matter how well your business was set up, there was just too much new and too much need all at the same time, between PPP loan forgiveness, employee retention credits, and just the general tax season. It was a wild ride.
God bless accountants.
Yeah.
I mean, they say it's hard for accountants to change. Bull crap. You guys are changing.
I'll tell you right now. I think just last tax season alone is incentive for me to do a little bit more changing. You know, Eric was talking about, you know, moving more towards that monthly client, and you know, you're going to reach capacity at some point. So, for me, I'm just like, okay. I mean, the people that come in at year end, I love seeing them. I love the clients, but sometimes it's a little bit more difficult.
So what I like to recommend is that we look at customers and what they're paying, not as dollars, but appreciation points. Okay. And so that those that appreciate you more should get better service, in my opinion. I cringe when anybody says I have a 24-hour callback, or they're, you know, catering to somebody that's paying $99 a month, the same as somebody's paying $10,000. Okay. So what I like to do is classify and categorize, you know, the staff. And so, you know, if you're a bronze package, maybe the response time is a couple of days, right? Maybe you have only a couple strategic meetings. Well, with the silver package, maybe you have quarterly meetings. Maybe the response time is a little faster. Gold, maybe you have quarterly meetings. Maybe your response time is 24 hours, right? But at least you have a little bit of wiggle room and breathing room. And also, you now have a priority schedule, okay? Those that come to you at the end of the year with their shoebox of receipts, back of the line, bronze, get ready to file for an extension, right? Silver, come on, you're killing me. I'm not going to put you in the front. I'm not going to put you in the back. You're going to get in the middle. Be patient. Gold, John, buddy, I love you. You do this to me next year, I'm kicking you the back of the line. I'll take care of it for you this year, this one time, because I love you. But do it to me again, no more love. How easy is that?
Yeah.
Right? Your staff is talking to somebody. Mr. Bronze, Miss Silver calls. Hey, Mr. Bronze, got to go.
Yep.
Right? Mr. Gold calls. Great. Take it.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of doing some work and Mr. Bronze calls. Let it go to voicemail. You have a couple of days to respond. And these are the types of little systems and processes that'll help a firm be that more efficient and consultative, because you weave these strategic meetings and these response times into your onboarding. So the only way you can be consultative is if you're talking to somebody. So let's schedule these, because what gets scheduled gets done during the onboarding call.
Absolutely. Yeah. Set the expectations from the start. Make sure it's clearly defined, clearly communicated, and then maintain that. I'm reading a book, Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. Great book.
Good book.
One of the biggest things I took away from it, it says a human can really only have about 150 relationships with individuals. So obviously, you know, courteous hi, you know, how you doing? Long time we haven't caught up. You know, that's not one of your 150. But think about it. All right. You're an accountant. You do 500 tax returns. You have, let's just say 20 people in your extended family around you. You know, you have 5-10 other employees. You have, you know, 5 close friends that you still talk to. How do you maintain all those relationships if you're doing 500 tax returns? can you really provide a good service for them? That's 500 people right there. You're already way over the mark. But if you're only working with, say you're only working with 50 or 60 clients, 50 or 60 relationships, I think you can make room for that to have real relationships with those people. And you can provide a real differentiated service to them then. If you really have a relationship where you understand their goals, you understand their business, and you understand their processes and their financials. Otherwise, you're just running around and everything is surface level.
Yeah, 100%. Right. And so there's three types of accounting firms out there, and I relate it to the restaurant industry. Yeah. There's fast food, mom, pa, and fine dining. Each one of them are great business models, right? But how you build them is totally different. Price attraction, 99-cent burgers. Had one the other day, came in a bag wrapped in paper. Great. Then the other month I went out to Ruth Chris. $50 burger. Nice plates, nice water, everything. So here's one using price attraction. Here's one using price discrimination. And then you have mom and pa in the middle. Yeah. What do you want to build? Because what you want to build is important, because then you're going to have to talk about, well, what do you want to do? Because if you want to build $1 million firm, earn $200,000, okay, and you're working with startups and micro businesses that are only able to pay you $5,000, well, you're going to need 200 customers. That just blows your theory.
Yeah.
But there's another way to get to $1 million that will help you be more consultative, okay, and spend more time with those individual clients. And that would be to have an average annual investment of a client paying you 20 grand. That's 50 customers.
Yep.
50 customers at $20,000. That's $1 million business. And you can spend quality time with every single one of those customers and your family.
Yeah. And if you divide your time properly and you have good systems in place in which, keeps that margin available to spend the time with those clients, there's no doubt you can create $20,000 in value, if not exponentially more. So there's no reason you can't get there.
Yeah, we have a bookkeeping firm that is just over a year old, over $1 million in revenue, 100 and something customers with an average annual monthly investment of $1,250, okay, a month. Now, they don't provide any advice. This is how they work. This is they do all the compliance, and then they have a reviewer. The reviewer then transmits the information over to the end user, and so that works out as being okay. Your cash in was here, expectations were here. Cash went out was here, expectations were here. Your profit first allocations have been met. These are the percentages, and these are the dollar amounts that have been transitioned into each one of those accounts. OpEx is currently meeting expectations. Please let me know if you're going to be doing any additional purchasing or anything additional happens with a loss of client. Let us know. Thank you very much.
Wow.
That's all I want to know as a business owner.
Yeah.
Right? I think too many people try to complicate things. I talk to my bookkeeper every other Thursday at 10 a.m. We're an S Corp, a global company. We have 25 bank accounts at 3 or 4 different banks at this particular time. Wow. It takes her 7 minutes to do the reconciliation of that and to do the allocations. I have the call. It's a 15-minute cash call, and we went over exactly what I just shared with the audience. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow. So efficient.
Yeah. And the clarity that I have on my cash position on a daily basis is insane.
Yeah. Wow. So you provided us a ton of insight. One thing that helps our listeners, I think, connect with the content that we talk about is, can you give us just a little story about, your background and how you got here today, just so they can kind of relate?
Yeah, sure. So a couple of things. I didn't grow up wanting to be, working with accounting firms. I was supposed to be running back for the Dallas Cowboys, but that didn't really pan out. Right. And so I started out as an investigator, public defender service, Washington, D.C.'s, investigating felony ones, murder, rapes, arsons. Then that was very interesting, but not safe. So I ended up making a career change into staffing, into professional staffing. And so I did that for a couple of years, really liked it. Helped Steve Bisciotti buy the Baltimore Ravens. That's the guy who owns the company I was working for at the particular time. Then got recruited and took over another staffing firm, but then implemented niche specialization. We were niching in the pharmaceutical and financial industries during that time. Then got recruited out of there, took over a staffing firm in Manhattan. But this time we decided to go niche specialization into media and entertainment. Got that company to its all-time high in revenue, consultants on the street, and then it's told I'm done scaling. Now, Mike Michalowicz, the author of Profit First and many other books, and I are good friends. And during this time of me growing my own personal business, not my personal business, but me as a corporate guy, he was being the entrepreneur. So he was always asking me to help him, and it just wasn't lucrative. But then I was done scaling, and I'm like, you don't tell me you were done scaling. That's against my DNA. So make a long story short, Mike asked me to read his manuscript, Profit First. I read it over a bottle of wine. We decided to do it, and the book was released August 2014. We went live August 2014 and just been looking back. But that's the short version. And I want to tell people that changing careers, changing industries can happen. Right. And so, it's your own personal belief and optimism and mindset. Right. And so if a dyslexic guy like me who's been held back can achieve, going through different careers and doing this and just using, mental toughness and grit to get through it and be creative and innovating, keep grinding to the point where you get it, everybody can do it. And it's easy. And here's the rule. This is the golden rule. If you want to be a rock star husband, wife, employer, employee, do what you say you're going to do by when you're going to do it, and just do it 3% better than expectations. Right? Huh. It's that simple. Somebody tells you to clean the table. Clean the table. Do it when you say you're going to do it, and just put a little bit more elbow grease in there. Right? If you just do it, that gets noticed. And as an owner, if you're not doing what you say you're going to be doing, your staff doesn't trust you. You're full of what.
Yeah.
Try changing the culture after that.
Right.
It makes it more difficult.
Yeah, that's huge.
Well, I think that's I mean, all the books you read, it starts with the top down, and we talk about it, but how many entrepreneurs do you meet on a daily basis that don't practice what they preach? I think that's huge.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about Profit First Professionals. That's why we provide a lot of inside access. I have to walk the talk. Mm-hmm. I have to, right? I'm talking about cash flow, personal and business. You have to walk and you have to lead, and it's not always easy. I mean, we're telling people Gap is crap when we first started. You think everybody liked Profit First when we started coming at it? No.
Yeah.
Just got to keep going.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. Well, what a great discussion. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, guys, I appreciated it.
So the audience on this show is mostly business owners, right? So I'm going to encourage you to look up Profit First. There's special niche down versions of Profit First for dentists, I think for landscapers. Yeah.
So you could go to, one, if you want to learn more about Profit First, the system, go on to Amazon and take a look at the reviews. It's a great book. A lot of them there. If you're looking for a niche specialist because you think your business is that different, well, we do have Profit First for various industries. Profit First for construction, e-commerce, chiropractors, dentists, hair salons, restaurants going to be coming on out. Basically the dummy series. And so what we're doing is the framework of Profit First will always remain the same, but the lingo and how you're doing things and how you're actually architecting the cash flow and the bank accounts to eliminate the pains and achieve the wants, there's nuances involved in that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Great great availability of resources. And if you're looking to work with a partner in that, profitfirstprofessionals.com, I believe, is the URL.
Yeah. And if you're not working with a Profit First professional, work with one. Call these guys, get signed up, have your discovery call. And if your accountant is not a Profit First professional, give them a copy of the book, tell them you want to do it. And if they say, no, I don't want to do it, give me a call. I'll get you a new accountant.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. It was a great conversation. A lot of fun to talk to you. Got great pictures in the background there. So I love them. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for your time. Take care. You have been listening to the Blood, Sweat, and Business podcast. You can hear more real stories from real business owners about what it takes to make it in business by subscribing to the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you like what you hear, leave a review and a 5-star rating. This podcast has been brought to you by Kaizen CPAs and Advisors, providing advisory and accounting services to help you grow your business. Learn more at kaizencpas.com.